say a few years ago, I was sitting on the couch at 10-ish at night. I really feel like I've told this story, but maybe it was on direct deposit. And my friend Chris Spencer texts me. Chris Spencer, who's been a guest on this show, who is a writing partner of mine, a comedian, he was one of the creators, I believe, or executive producers of The Real Husbands of Hollywood, et cetera, et cetera. He texts me and he's like, yo, what you doing? I'm here in New York. Chris lives in LA. He's like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, I made some, I didn't make something up. I was like, I'm just sitting here. And he's like, whatever you're doing, put some clothes on and come meet me at, and it was, there's like maybe it was like the Soho Grand Hotel. There's some hotel in the Lower East Side that has a rooftop, but there's so many of these. So doesn't matter which one. He's like, yo, just come meet me in the lobby, like, of this hotel. And I'm like, well, what's up? Because at this point, I'm still newish to all this thing, but I'm not so new that I just like jump up and go wherever because people will put you on a fucking wild goose chase. Not Chris, but like people. So I get up, I throw some clothes on, I call an Uber. I ride out to this hotel in the Lower East Side. And when I get there in the lobby, very fancy, like chic, kind of like trendy things are happening. Like you can feel sexy, coked up people like just vibing in this lobby. And Chris texts me or calls me again and he's like, yo, come over to the elevator. So I walk over to the elevator, like the little elevator thing, bank. Door opens. It's Chris. He has like, Chris is always seems to be in a good mood, but he has an extra like sparkle about him this time. And Chris is in his 50s, about 6'1", 6'2", bald-headed guy. I think like a very handsome, like the kind of guy you sort of want to be like when you're in your 50s, like that level of like springiness about him still and like enthusiasm about life. And he's just like so excited. He's excited about what he's about to walk me into. You don't know this story already?
I feel like you've told. I don't remember the details of it. I kind of, when you brought it up, like I kind of remembered some parts, but I don't really remember it.
So we get on the elevator, and he presses the penthouse button on the elevator. And it goes, shoo, 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 shoo. Doors open, and we are already inside the penthouse suite of this hotel. Huge. I mean, the ceiling is like 3 stories high. There's a baby grand piano with somebody playing it in a corner. There's another guy like strumming at a guitar. There's maybe 15 people in the room. And among them are Dave Chappelle, Tiffany Haddish, Common, Mos Def, and then like a few other people I don't recognize, basically. Y'all, and Chris kind of like introduces me to the group, and everybody's chilling. Like, I mean, people are a few whiskeys in at this point. Dave Chappelle smoking cigarettes. These people are, as I can tell, they are real friends. They are kicking it. Like they are, they got their shirts unbuttoned, so to speak, and they're shooting the shit. And I say almost nothing because I'm like, I just one is like in environments like that, even today at this, like I'm not the person that just walks in the room and starts talking. That's just not me, surprisingly. But they're kind of like taking turns shooting off jokes and stuff. Dave is the most clever. Mos Def is the most talkative. Common is very cool. I think he and Tiffany Haddish are like on a date or kind of together at that point. And Tiffany Haddish just has a big personality. She's drinking. But some point it gets around to be like, Chris kind of like cues me up to have something to say. He's like, tell him what this nigga Kanye said to you. Like, that's like his way of like bringing me in on the conversation. I deliver my little like Kanye talking point and then it's off me. And I would say for the rest of the night, like I might have exchanged 15 total words with any one of those people that I just named. But I was with them. We go, Dave Chappelle's wife is there. We go back down to the floor of this place. We jump into these Suburbans. The Suburbans take us around the corner to the Blue Note. They walk us in through a back door. We walk upstairs into like a VIP area. It's Robert Glasper is about to do his set. Like he has his what's it called? His residency at the Blue Note.
Yeah.
We go downstairs they like seat us right next to the stage. And then as Robert Glasper is doing his performance, each one of the people that I'm with takes a turn going up on stage and performing with him. Common first, then Mos Def, then Dave Chappelle, then Tiffany Haddish. Then performance ends. We go back up to the VIP. They have some more drinks. I don't even think I was drinking at this time. And more drinks, more cigarettes, some blunts. Like they're having a good time. I'm entourage. And then we go downstairs and I think we walk to the next place, which is it the Comedy Cellar? Is that the one that's in the basement?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Walk to the Comedy Cellar, sit next to the stage. It's me, Tiffany Haddish, Common, all sitting right here next to the stage. Dave Chappelle takes the stage with Mos Def, and Dave Chappelle gives a set that I would later then see on Netflix in a different venue. And afterward, we go to the bar, have some drinks. I get to chat a little bit with these folks, and I take this picture that I sent to Morgan last night where it's like, I'm like leaning over to Dave Chappelle. Again, this is before Dave Chappelle is in any way a controversial figure. And I'm like leaning over Dave Chappelle, like taking this picture with him. He looks like there are 100 million places he would rather be than next to me taking this picture. And I guess we'll just like throw that into the reel for this thing. That's my Dave Chappelle story. I have had no other interactions with Dave Chappelle besides this. But I watched his special last night. And this is the new experience for me of watching a Dave Chappelle special. It used to be totally unbridled enthusiasm. It used to just be like, wow, I'm about to watch something really good and really smart. That's how I used to feel about a Dave Chappelle special. Now, watching a Dave Chappelle special is like, it's a Rorschach test. It is a, like, I would say it is not a particularly present experience, is how I would describe it. It is not something where, it's not like sports, where I sit in my seat, I know who I'm rooting for, I know what I want to happen, and I just watch it play out, and I'm like, I love sports because it's meditative that way. It takes me out of my head a little bit. Watching a Dave Chappelle special is an extremely heady experience because I know, based on where I sit in the in the algorithm, I know I'm already breaking the rules by watching it. Like, I already know that. You know what I mean? Like, I already know. I've said this to y'all before. Like, I live in Queens, but my people are in Brooklyn. They are in the most they're like, depending on where you're watching this, think about the most liberal leaning person that you know. My friends are like the people that judge them for being too conservative. Okay? So I already know I have broken the rules by watching this special, by clicking. I asked Morgan in the car today, I said, Morgan, did you watch the special? And she said, no, I didn't want to give it any clicks.
And then you said that's so Gen Z.
I said, Morgan, that's so Gen Z of you.
She said it just like that, too.
She said it just like that. She said it like, there was like the lightest tone of like, how could you even ask me that? Like, did I watch it? I'm like, Morgan, you told me about it. So I already know from jump, I have broken the rules. There's other layers here. Look what I do for a living. Stand in front of a camera and talk. Like, and it's evolved in that direction because I want it to go to the point of like me standing in front of an audience and talking. And I would say he is among the best 10 people on earth at doing exactly that, which is standing in front of a crowd of people, telling a story that captivates them and that takes them in a direction that he wants them to go with their minds. Excuse me. But when I'm watching the Dave Chappelle special, and I'm becoming more aware of like, let's call it accelerator and brakes, okay? I can feel that my brakes are on. I can feel that I'm tapping my brakes the entire time I'm watching it. Every word that comes out of his mouth, I am resisting going where he wants me to go because, because I have been told you must choose a side. And if I have to choose a side, I personally have to side with who seems to be being bullied. That's just who I am, okay? Because I feel bullied often. So I want to be on the side of the people who seem to be being bullied. And sure, it is possible that I am looking into a kaleidoscope that is confusing me and I'm actually not certain of who's being bullied here, and all the things that Dave Chappelle wants me to believe about the fact that he is actually being bullied could be true and I just can't see it right. But like in this case, I'm sitting there watching and resisting because he's quite literally opening the show with letting me know I'm not going to stop punching on trans people. I'm not going to stop punching on gay people. I'm not going to stop punching on queer people. And he like throws out these light little jabs at other people, black people, Asian people, white people. But like he wants me to be certain as viewer, I got these trans people in a fucking headlock. Like that's what he wants me to know from the beginning. And I think in that way, he's almost telling me, if you don't have a stomach for that, leave. Like, it feels like that's what he's saying. That's important to me because you just heard me tell somebody to get the fuck on up out of here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's important. Like, resistance versus, like, gas versus brakes. People who are around my thing who got I watched, after I posted that Obama reel last night, I watched my follower count, like, just dwindle, like, just a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, some people got no time for that. You know what I mean? Some people are like, don't you say that about our Barry. You know what I mean? And they're like, I'm out. I want them out. I'm trying to, like, there's a faster way to 1 million views, 1 million followers and 1 million views. There is a much faster way. But when I get to a critical mass of a certain size of audience, like, I want that group to be solid. Like, I want that group to know exactly what the fuck I be talking about. Like, I want them to know, oh, I like him because he does this. And I think Dave Chappelle is making a decision in starting with the trans bullying that he wants anyone that makes squeamish to get out. This is where I think he's got himself fucked up. There was a time not that long ago where Dave Chappelle fled to Africa because he felt so surrounded by people who did not see him as human. Like, that is documented, okay? He felt like he was being laughed at and not laughed with. When you start your special by telling the people who feel squeamish about bullying to leave, those are, I'm not saying in every case, because there are many cases where this is not so, but a lot of those people, when you tell Morgan to get out at the beginning of your special, like, what kind of people do you want to sit in your room with you? Like, who are you telling to stay put? Like, and at what point, I really think Dave Chappelle is doing this. I think he's caught in a loop. I think he's doing it again. I think he thinks he's whittling down the people that really fuck with him. But what he's really going to be left with, I kept looking at the crowd. They kept showing these shots of the crowd over and over and over again. He thinks that's his home base. These are the real fans. I'm from DC. These are my DC people. Bro, you haven't lived in DC in a long time, my guy. Like, it's different. Those people in that room, the next person who could be on the menu, Dave, is you, dog. Like, you're telling Morgan to get out? That's absurd. Like, that's the first person who's going to be there. Not you exactly, Morgan, but you're a really great person. But, like, that is the type of person who is going to be there to support you when something bad is happening to you. Why do you want them to leave? But the person who stays is me, because I'm curious and I want to know, like, I am holding space for the, like, probably because I'm a black man in my 30s from Silver Spring who used to look up to this person. Same thing I do with Kanye. I'm holding space that maybe this person will turn a corner that kind of brings them back closer to what I believe in. I can't say I'm praying for it, but I'm hoping for it because their art to me is so consumable and so powerful and so potent. But he doesn't do that. He does in the spirit of fairness. I am going to say he tells some really funny stories about Chris Rock. He tells some really funny stories about his experience watching what happened with Chris Rock. He tells some good stories about himself being attacked on stage and what that did to him and what that meant to him and what he felt. He does not stick the landing on the special. Like did you watch it?
No, I haven't watched it.
The landing is it's contrived and airy, and it just doesn't same as the landing on the Chris Rock special. It's just like, huh? Like that was the big finale, like that was the big finishing point. I don't know. No, I'm not going to stick the landing. I mean, because that's kind of like, that's what it left me with. It just left me with like, Chad, if you are telling yourself, I only listen and watch Dave Chappelle specials over and over because I am trying to watch somebody who is remarkable at this craft do their thing so I can learn from it, so I can be challenged, so I can, consume something that is phenomenal art and see someone put such a strong point on what it is that they're trying to say. I cannot honestly say that to myself anymore because the last few times I have watched Dave Chappelle, divorced from the point of view and the bullying or whatever else, it just hasn't given me that. Like I have not walked away being like, I used to walk away from a Dave Chappelle special being like inspired and kind of awed by like, wow, he did that. And there were still moments, of course, there were moments where like a joke payoff was so great or so unexpected or just like his delivery was so strong. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like watching Jordan the way that it once did. All right, that's the end of that segment. Let's play some music. We got more shit to talk about. Did you have something to say, Josh?
Well, I was just going to say that, like, I feel like he's become a person that, like, for lack of better words, has become enamored with his new fans or new defenders.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, sometimes it's like, I hate when I see this shit happen because it's like, you have somebody who, now he feels like you said, like, now he feels like he has that persecution complex now that he's the person that's being bullied. And it's just like, I think because I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be right there with you. I want to watch it because I still want to see Dave, and I'm still holding out hope and still holding space for hoping that he, doesn't continue punching down. But at the same time, it's just like, just a lot of people. I really just hate watching somebody as great as him like alienating people who've been watching him since like the 90s, like been watching this dude be like the best ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Since the 90s. And like it hurts a little bit. And I feel the same way. Like, like I'm gonna watch it, but I feel how you described it as like I'm gonna be there like sort of like clenching my teeth a little bit, being like, what is he about to say? I'm still gonna watch it based on what you even told me on the front end. So
yeah, I think also there's an element there that the friends who ever text me about a Dave Chappelle special are Black men in their 30s and who I think have, and I relate to this in some ways, I think there are many ways people develop a response to feeling bullied in their life. And some people form a response that is submission. I'm going to try to make myself as palpably weak so that maybe people will have mercy on me because I am so weak. I think some people form an identity around like, I'm going to make myself so likable to the bully that I will get to stand next to him so that while he is doing his bullying, I will never be in the eye of his ire. I think some people form an identity of resistance where it's like, fuck that, I'm going to fight the bully, even though the bully is scary. And then I think some people develop an identity of like, what would this be called? Emulation. I'm gonna find somebody to bully. Bullying looks fun. I see the look in their eyes. They bully me. They look so powerful. They look so strong. And I do think that some people in my life who really love a Dave Chappelle special, they love it because it's like their one chance they feel like to get off on that feeling of like, I'm like the bully. I'm with him. Like, finally, you know what I mean? Finally, somebody's foot is off my neck and we get to put it on someone else's and see how that feels. And like, I have tried out that experience and it doesn't feel good. It feels shitty. It doesn't feel good at all. It feels ass. Like it feels like poison going through your veins or whatever. So I have no good landing point for this, but here's where I will land once again. That lady who was disappointed in me, get the fuck, come on, unfollow and get out of here. Don't try to DM me because I'm gonna block you. That's it. All right, let's play some music.